In this video, I'll show you how to create detailed drawings in Revit. This is going to be a long topic, so I've divided this into two videos. So to give you some examples of detailed drawings that were done in Revit, I'll open a document. So this is an example of a base section of a school building. This is a two-story school building, and this drawing is drawn uh, in a bigger scale. So this is drawn in 1:20 scale. So as you can see, um, all the details were included. So the whole floor from top to bottom were sectioned and detailed, including dimensions, labels, and additional callouts to additional spot details. Okay, let me go down here. So here are the spot details of the from the base section drawn to a bigger scale, 1:10 scale, so that it's easier to dimension and to label those additional details. Okay, so this is a light shelf detail. This is a air vent cover. Okay, and ceiling flashing and coping detail and sunshade detail. So in our house exercise, we will be creating one detailed drawing, the detail for the roof part or the top part of our house. So I made a sketch of the detailed drawing that we will be creating. And this is included in your Big Sky account. You will be able to download this, so you can use this as a reference while you're creating the detailed drawing for the house in Revit. So one very important thing you have to understand when creating detailed drawings as a designer. So it's very important that you understand how things are built and how things connect to each other in construction, or how to implement your design in during construction. So if you have no idea or little knowledge of how your design will be implemented, it will be very hard for you to create this kind of details and kind of the level of details. If that is the case, it will be best for you to consult with someone who is knowledgeable. Probably work with your contractor or builder, or work with your engineers to help you figure out how to implement your design in actual details. So in the house, this is what we will copy. Okay, so normally whenever you create details or detailed drawings in Revit, or maybe if you're using AutoCAD, usually your details starts out from sketch, just like this. Okay, and then you transfer this to your program. So in our case, I've already done the sketch, and we will create a clean drawing in Revit. So we will try to copy this detail. Okay, so let's go back to our file. Before we start with the detailed drawings, make sure to save your file as exercise number 7. So I've already saved my file as exercise number 7. Okay, and then we'll create a new section somewhere in this area between grids 1 and 2. So I'll activate the section command right here, and we'll use the same type wall section, the same section we used for the toilets. So let me create one right here. Okay, and I'll just change the end mark in here. So I want to remove that, so it will be will look something like this. Okay, and once you have this, you should have a new section under the sections wall section. So here it is, section 5. Let's just rename this, the view name, as let's call this as our roof detail. Press enter. Okay, and then let's open that view. So I want to concentrate on this area, and let me just adjust the crop region. Right, and let's go back to the ground floor plan, and let's adjust the range of the section. I don't want to show the curtain wall, maybe somewhere closer to the line, the cut line. Okay, let me check the roof plan. So this is how it should look, somewhere right here. Let's go back to the roof details section, and then we'll let's change the scale. Let's use a 1:20 scale for this, so all the annotations will become smaller. And let's hide this tree right here, if you have a tree. So mine, it's going to overlap with my label, so I will hide this from view. Okay, let me just adjust the crop region further, and let's hide the crop region right here. All right, so in Revit, most of the time, when we create detail drawings, we create them from a section or an existing section created from the model, and then we overlay it with 2D drawings, 2D lines, and maybe replace them with hatch patterns, or add additional line work to show the connections, show the details. So let me just change the detail level to fine, so that we can see how this looks right now. Okay, and let me show you again the sketch. So we'll start by adding this the beam, and probably add the details for the ceiling and the CHB wall. All right, so just be aware that sometimes when you start doing the details, you'll realize that your initial design might not work, or might be too thin, or might be too thick. So initially, we've assumed that our roof will be on this level, and it will be around 300 millimeters in thickness. But as soon as we finish creating our detail, the roof might be the actual roof might be thin or thick. So we can still adjust it after creating our details, after we've thought of how to implement the design. So for the roof for this house, you might need to well, we still don't know. This roof might have to adjust the roof thickness. You might have to move it up or down. So just be aware that at this point the design may still change, the actual model may still change, and we can still adjust it based on the final output or final outcome of the details that we will be doing. So in this case, for example, usually when we design a house, when we design a structure, we still do not know the exact sizes of the rafters, the exact sizes of the trusses, the exact sizes of the beams, until the structural engineer have finalized their designs. So once we get their design, once we get the exact dimensions of the rafter, the exact dimensions of the beam, we can go back to the model, do the details, and then adjust the model based on the final specifications that our engineers have given us. So let's assume, okay, so I have not placed the dimensions for the rafter and the beam in here, but let's assume that our beam is 250 in width, and then 300 in height. this rafter, this will be an I-beam or a wide flange, will be 150 millimeters in thickness or in height. Okay. So let's start with the beam. So again, detailed drawings, most of the detailed drawings in Revit are composed of 2D lines and regions or hatch patterns overlaid on the existing section of our model. So we'll start first with the beam. So our beam will be located above this line, above our ceiling, right here. So let's go to the Annotate tab. So for our 2D lines, for our hatches, most of them will be created using the detail line. So shortcut key for detail line is DL and a filled region. So in Revit, there are two types of region. One is the filled region, which has a hatch pattern inside it. The other type, if I click this arrow right here, is a masking region. So basically, it is just a white solid color, so to mask out some of the drawings. All right. So here's our plan. We'll use this roof as our reference, but we will hide this afterwards. We will replace this with regions and detail lines. So the final output or outcome will be a combination of the region and detail lines. So, but for now, we'll just keep this shown. So I'll activate thin lines by typing TL. Okay, so that I can see the lines better and the intersections better. And then I'll create a region by clicking this icon, the filled region icon. So for the beam, we need a concrete hatch pattern inside. So let me see if we have a concrete hatch here. So currently we don't have a concrete hatch pattern right here. Let's start with the horizontal. Let's use the horizontal for now, and then let's change it afterwards. Let's create a rectangle for the beam shape, and then for the lines, for the 2D lines, I usually use a wide line, either a wide line, a medium line, or a thin line. So I only work with 3 types of line thicknesses. So wide lines will be used for structural elements such as beams and columns. Medium lines will be for those elements that were cut in view. And then thin lines for smaller details and visible edges of the drawing. So let's start first with the wide lines. Let's use a wide lines type. So this will be a thick line. And since we will be creating a roof beam, so this is the reason why we'll be using the wide lines. Let's create the rectangle first, and then let's just position this afterwards. So the size of our beam will be 200. So this is 200 by 300. Okay, and then press check. So again, currently it's using the horizontal hatch pattern. We will change this. We'll create a new pattern. So click edit type and then click duplicate and then call this as concrete. And then for the fill pattern, okay, so the lower versions of Revit might only have one fill pattern. For the higher versions, you'll have a foreground and a background fill pattern. We only need to change one of the patterns here. So for this one, we'll use a foreground fill pattern. We'll change the horizontal drafting. So we'll click this button and look for concrete. So this will be the pattern that we will use. This is a hatch pattern representing concrete. And then for the color, I don't want to use a black color for the hatch. Let's use a mid gray color. So let's use a 128 128 and 128 color. So this is somewhere in between. Press OK, and then press OK. So this is how it will look. So if we deactivate thin lines by typing TL, you'll see that it has a thicker line. Okay, let me activate thin lines once again. And then I'll use my align tool, or I'll just use my move tool, type MV, and I'll grab it somewhere here. Make sure it snaps at this line, the line of the wall, core wall. And then let's type MV once again, and I want to move it down so that it snaps just at the top part of this ceiling. Okay, so this is how it looks currently. So type TL, so to show the line weights. Okay, so for the CHB wall, let's change how the CHB wall looks. Let me just adjust the crop region once more. Let's just make this smaller, right? Just like that. Okay, so for our CHB wall, if you remember how a CHB or a concrete hollow blocks look like, it has a void, or 3 voids or 4 voids at somewhere at the middle, and the solid parts on each side. So we will create the representation of a CHB wall, or a CHB in Revit. So we'll use a combination of lines and hatches. So let's activate the region once again. So this time, I'll use the medium lines for this, and let's create a rectangle once more. And I'll use a different type of region. Maybe let's try a diagonal down. Okay, and then let's change the dimensions in here. So let's make this 25, or let's make this 40. Okay, and let's make the height 200. Okay, and currently my thin lines is deactivated, so I'll activate it by typing TL. Okay, let's press check. So I have a hatch pattern right here, but the diagonal is too big. So let me create a new one. Currently we don't have a smaller diagonal pattern right here. So I'll click edit type. I'll duplicate this. I'll use change the name to diagonal down small. Press OK. And look for a smaller diagonal down pattern. So this one might be better. Diagonal down 1.5 mm. So press OK. And then change the color to 128 gray. 128, 128, 128. Press OK, and then press OK. Alright, so this looks good. I'll create a detail line. And I'll use a thin line for this. So I'll create from this corner, go to the right, and type in 150. Press enter, and press the escape key. I'll select this hatch pattern. I'll copy this, type CO, and click this, and snap it to that end. And I'll copy this line, select the line, type CO to copy, and grab it at this corner and bring it down to complete the section of a hollow block, or a CHB unit. And if you notice, we have a mortar in here. It's adhesive in between CHB, so we'll add that one as well. So let's create it at the top. I'll copy this line, select this line. I'll type CO to copy. I'll grab it at this corner, go up, and then type in 10. It's around 10 millimeters in thickness. Okay, so these are all representations of the CHB wall. Okay, so and then type DL once again. I'll create, use a start and radius arc thin lines. And I'll click at this point and this point and create that arc. And I'll just use the mirror tool, mirror command. We'll use the draw axis. So shortcut key for mirror draw axis is DM. So while this is selected, type DM. And we need to draw an axis. So I'll grab this midpoint or click this midpoint of the line, go down, and then click again to mirror this line to the other side. So once you have this drawing, so these are all 2D drawings, we can select all of this and group them, make a group. Okay, so I'll once you have this selection, go up to the modify tab and click this button. So this is the create group command. Shortcut key for this is GP. So you can either click this button or just type GP to create this group. And then I'll call this as my CHB section. Press OK. And let's see, let's move it inside. So I'll type MV and grab it at this corner, move it. We'll start from this. Let's move it right in here first. Type MV. So grab it here and then make sure it snaps. Okay. All right. So let's deactivate our thin lines once again, and let's type. So let's deactivate our thin lines once again to see how this drawing looks in with the line weights active. So type TL. Okay. So if you notice, the original wall, this original wall is still showing its hatch pattern. So type TL. Let's deactivate the line weights, and we don't want it to look that way. So we'll fix that. Let's copy this. Let's duplicate this below. All right. So let's type CO. Let's make multiple copies of this. So click multiple in here in the options bar, and it will be helpful to also check constraints so that we will be constrained to a vertical movement. So grab it at this endpoint and click this endpoint. Click. Make sure you snap exactly at the endpoints. Press escape to close and type TL to see how it looks with the line weights turned on. So currently the original wall of the model is still showing its section. So we want to hide it in view. We want to replace it with a white solid color. Let me copy this group. I'll type CO, copy it outside right here, and I'll modify the group from this unit. So whatever you do in one group will also affect the other groups as well. So if I change this group, if I modify this group, it will automatically change this copy of the groups as well. So I'll modify this. I'll type TL to deactivate thin lines. Okay, and then to modify the group, I'll select this drawing and click edit group so that I will be able to modify this. I will replace all my detail line, my 2D lines, with a hatch pattern or a region mask. So I'll delete this, DE. Select this and delete this. And then replace it with a masking region. So again, a masking region is similar to a region, but it only has a white solid hatch pattern. So what it does, it hides the line work behind it. So I'll activate this, and I'll use a thin lines for this. Create a rectangle. So I'll start with the middle part, right? And I'll create another one right here, but I'll finish this first and create a new one. Go to annotate, and then masking region, and then I'll create one line here. So I'm using thin lines still. and then presses the escape key. I'll use the pick lines and offset the first line by 10. So click this line, move it up by 10, press the escape key, and use the start end radius. Click this, and then we can mirror this by using the draw mirror axis command by typing DM. Click at the midpoint of this line, go down, and then click. Okay. If you forgot to change line style type, so let me just deactivate thin lines once again by typing TL, so to show the line weights. So if ever you these lines are thin lines, but if ever you've used a different line type, so let's say you've used a wide lines for this one, but that was not your intention, and then you so let's say thin lines was still active, so you didn't know that you've used the wrong line style, right? And then you finish this drawing, and then when you checked it by typing TL to deactivate thin lines, you realize that you made a mistake. So what you can do is you select the line work you want to modify, click edit boundary. You can still change the line type by selecting the line you want to change. So for example, this is currently a wide line. You can go back here and change it to a different line type. So let's change this to thin line to correct it. So what I'll do, I'll just select all of this and change this to thin lines, so it will look better or look correct. And then press check to finish it, and this is how it should look. So click finish. Once you click finish, all your copies of the group will also will automatically change, and we should not see this hatch pattern of the model should be hidden from the view. So click finish, and let me just save this, and there you go. So I'll delete this extra copy. If you want to create extra views of this, so whenever you create a group, it will be stored as part of the project browser. So for example, you want to create a new detail drawing and you want to use this group. So since we already have you've already drawn this CHB section, it's already part of the project browser, and you can already get the same group from this list. All you need to do is go down, look for the group, right? Click expand this by clicking the plus sign, and click the plus sign of the detail group, and here it is right here. All you need to do to add it to a new drawing, so for example, you have a new drawing with and you want to add this CHB section that you've previously drawn, just click and drag this name, the CHB section, to the middle of your drawing. So I'm clicking and dragging, and then drop it here inside, and then click, and then press the escape key to end the command, and there you go. So you have another unit of the CHB section. So again, if you want to whenever you create a group, it will be part of this list. So if you want to create a new one or to add it to your new drawing, you just click and drag the name towards your drawing. Okay, so let's go back to the detail drawing. Let me press the escape key. So the plastering, we'll use the plastering of the original model. And let me see. So next, let's do the ceiling. Although we will not label this, we'll just create the drawing to make it look complete. So our ceiling is composed of the ceiling material, which is, in our case, we'll use a fiber cement board, and then it is connected to a metal furring or furring channel. Okay, and then these are the ceiling framing to support the fiber cement board ceiling, and it is hanged. This one is a hanger which is connected to the steel rafter or the wide flange steel section. Okay, so let's do this first. Let's add the wall angle and the furring channel. And this line here represents the metal channel or the channel for the that will be hanged from the steel rafter. So let's do that. Okay. Some detail items have available families that you can use to generate detail drawings such as this. So you don't have to manually create your own, just like what we did for the CHB wall. So, for example, if I go to the internet or to Google, you can actually search for example, if you want a metal furring channel Revit family. So this the 2D section of it. You can go to this website and then download it and then use it, load it into Revit and use it as part of the detail drawing. So let me just show you what we what the ceiling framing looks like when constructed. So this is the C channel or the furring channel. This is the C section. Okay, and these are the hangers that will be hanged from the rafter. Right, so that's what this is what this drawing represents. Okay, so in this case, let's assume that you have no access to any Revit family, so we will have to draw all the line work manually. So our metal furring channel, let's draw that manually. Let's replace this ceiling with 2D lines, but we'll use this as a guide for now, but we'll hide this afterwards. Okay, so I'll type TL to activate thin lines, and then I'll go to my region. I'll start with fiber cement board line work. So I'll use a filled region, and then use thin lines since although my ceiling will be cut if I were to use a medium line. So again, the plan is to use medium lines for those elements that is cut in section. So since this ceiling was cut, we should use the medium lines, but since these two lines are too close together, and if we activate if the line weights are active, this drawing will look too thick. So use your best judgment of what the best line weight to use for a particular element. So for this ceiling element, I will use a thin lines instead of a medium line. All right, and create a rectangle, and I'll just use this as a reference. Okay, you can go beyond the crop region because it will be a crop from view anyway. So you can go beyond the extent of the crop region, and then I'll change the hatch pattern to let's see what we have here. Okay, let's create a new one. I'll click edit type. I'll duplicate this. I'll call this as sand. That will be the name for the hatch. Press OK. And I'll change the fill pattern to sand. This one. And maybe the sand dense will be better. Press OK. And the foreground color to 128 gray. Press OK. And then OK. And then press OK to end the command. So this is how it will look. And then I will hide this ceiling model from this view. Okay, I don't need this anymore. I'll hide this in view. Press elements. And this ends part 1 of this topic. Whenever you're ready, proceed to part 2.